storms that are coming through the area. So hopefully we'll be able to get through and go throughout the presentation. So let's get started. So what do we get with the RunSignup race website? So we'll just kind of start with the basics. And with RunSignup, you pretty much get everything you need to manage your online presence right out of the box. You get a professional branded website. You can put your brand first. There's no ads on the page. We like to say that it's really easy to customize, and I'll go through the presentation today showing you how easy that is. We have a lot of dynamic content, such as photos, participant lookup, registration management, the results, everything's in one place, and we have nice call to action buttons that you can also control and customize to drive registrations and donations. So that's the obvious stuff that's on the front end, and there's a lot of stuff under the hood. We redo our search engine optimization about every 6 months with Google. Part of that is the mobile responsiveness to make sure that your website looks great on mobile, as we're seeing, over 70% of people access and register via mobile. We have built-in analytics right on the Race Insights dashboard. So as soon as you log in to your race page, you can see where people are coming from and different stats for the days. We also have high availability websites, so your website is always up and working for you 24/7. The data-driven content, this is tied directly to information from your RunSignup dashboard. So things like price increases, dates, they're automatically updated. And we even have dynamic content such as participant lists, donation totals, and we even have a new tracking map for distance tallies. We also do all the PCI level 1 compliance information. As RunSignup as a company, we spend over $100,000 to keep our website up and running. And when you're using the RunSignup's website, you're using the same infrastructure and platform. So your website is also PCI level 1 compliant. We also have the CCPA, which is the California Consumer Privacy Act. There's the same cookie policy that you might have seen on the website to comply with that as well. And so we make things easy. We're going to break this down into 3 easy modules: the cover page, just to wow the participants and kind of tell the story of your race; content that you can inform them of what's going on; and a domain to further brand the race and give it that last professional appeal. So the real benefit of using RunSignup's website is that if you have an idea, you can easily buy a domain and have a good-looking race that's live and accepting registrations in less than 24 hours with very little effort or even technical know-how. So it's easy to make your race stand out right from the start, and no coding skills are needed. So let's kind of quickly look at some website examples just to get you some ideas of what we have here. We're going to first come over to the Summer Miles for Scholarship Challenge. And what is really cool about this race website is you see the call to action buttons at the top, and there's also call to action buttons right there on their header image. And as you scroll down, you can see that it's very easy to log their miles, which is the whole point of the challenge, as well as a countdown clock with their hashtag that they can share on social media, and just letting people know about the campaign and how they would like to give back to the community. And here is a tally option where, as people record their miles, it's updated in real time to see where they are. So I could, if I'm participating in this challenge, I could see where we're at. I could go do my run, track my miles, and see how that contributed towards the goal, as well as other call to action buttons and content to show the story of the group and highlight different information of the race. So that's just one quick example. The next one we're going to take a look at is the Coral Crawl 5K. This is nice because they have a lot of cool images from the aquarium that they have, with lots of key call to action buttons on the race information. They even put a video to let people know some more information about the reef and different aspects to learn more about the race and why it's needed. You can always customize your social media to get people to engage with you as well. And another quick example is the Run Across Massachusetts. So you've seen a lot of people with virtual challenges. So this is like an example of different challenge options that they have. They're using our event tiles to show the different options that you can when you register. And then they have a cityscape just to kind of break the page up a little bit, which looks really nice. And then some more custom content sections just to kind of inform people very quickly with what's going on with the race. Participants As you might know, don't do a lot of reading when we send nice, well-informed emails. So using these content sections to just kind of go over the highlights is a really neat use of that. You can also show off the swag and the medals and different options using the custom sections as well. So that's a nice another little breakdown. And so we'll get to the drawing up of the Vancouver Trail Run later. So let's kind of continue on with what you get out of the gate with your race website. So this is a typical race, and we see this a lot when we're reviewing races. This is the basic generic website that is created, which is still good. It has all the dynamic information of your race, but we're gonna go over a process of creating a cover page for the Vancouver Trail Run, and we see a city in the background as well as a generic stock image. So we want to kind of brand it. So out the gate, this is what our website looks like, and we're gonna go and start working on the cover page. Today's presentation is going to cover the race dashboard section mentioned here. It's under the race tab under race page. We're going to cover the theme, the cover page, domains, custom sections, how we want those sections to display, as well as updating the menu order. So let's dive into the cover page. So the reason you want to put a cover page on your website is it really makes the website pop. It's mobile optimized, and it's a landing page to kind of tell the story of your race. With virtual races being the predominant factor right now, this is the main interaction that participants even have with your race. So you can customize the header and the content and put your brand forward and drive action with all the different custom options that we have. We even have a slideshow to kind of highlight better stuff, like such as your donation, your charity, as well as sponsors. So we'll start with the header banner. You can add up to 5 separate banners, and you can easily click on the little grid beside the custom section that you create to click and drag them up or down to reorder them. The images that you set up can all be uploaded with our new crappie tool. And the name of the header that you put up there is only internal. That's not going to show up on the website, but that lets you easily slide and reorder things around as you need to. There is optional custom text that you can put on here, such as a tagline for your race, and you can even put preset custom buttons like we saw in some of those website previews. If you set up any race themes, those colors will apply as well. So the crappie tool is going to start you with your image that you upload, and we recommend that the image starting size is 2000 by 800 for the full screen. We do have options for those split content, and the image upload size that you want to start with is about 900 by 360 for split. And the crappie tool will kind of zoom in and out to kind of put the focus of the image forward. Because it is mobile optimized, you will see that sometimes the outside edges will get a little bit cropped, and that's so everything can fit to scale within the mobile optimizations. So some of the other options on the cover page is the content. This is where you can really highlight and show off the story. So there's lots of different themes here, and all the race theme colors are auto-applied. There's even dynamic contents such as price increases, the virtual challenges, and our data component that you can put in. And imagination is really the limit of what you want to put on here. It can be as long as you want. There's no limit to how many cover page content sections that you can create. So we'll briefly kind of dive into creating a content section. There's different content types as you see here. Basic one would be content to kind of briefly tell people about the story of the race or kind of whatever you're promoting as a charity. Then we also have countdown clocks. There's options to count down to the race day, count down to registration day, or to count down to a specific time for like a challenge of when they can submit results and things like that. In the upper right-hand side, you can add a column to easily split the content and break up the page a little bit. So that's a nice little feature, and you can kind of plug and play whatever different content options that you'd like. Here's an example of some split content where we just added some information on the left-hand side, where we just kind of wanted to put a nice little quote on the page, and you can even upload a background image. So we've done that, and then split the content up with promoting our charity on the right-hand side, with a nice button that leads right to the volunteer section. Custom actions are also a good way to drive people doing stuff, whether it's submitting results, whether it's learning about more information, frequently asked questions. There's lots of neat options there. We have dynamic links that you can plug into that take people right to the race info page, results page, donations, volunteers, and even directly into registration path. And you can also add a custom URL. So if you want to send them specifically to an athlete guide or any other website, you can do that as well through the link actions. Another cool option is if you have a video promoting the race or promoting some sort of information. We saw a lot of this having drones of starting out the race or just having a message from a sponsor. You can easily plug that video right in, just plug in your YouTube video ID to make that a nice little content section in your website. So the data components, this is the dynamic content that is working in real time for you. The basic one would be your social media that automatically plugs and takes them right to your social media page. We even have the event tiles, which is going to show all the information such as when registration opens and when registration closes, what the current price is and things like that. We also can highlight your sponsors, and we have a section that is really cool for donation-focused races to show a leaderboard of your top fundraisers and top teams. The newest smart components that we've launched this year would be the challenge component as well as the price increases. So the challenge component is as people are logging miles to go towards their race, you can get them to complete it. And you can set up any type of challenge, whether it's miles to run across the United States. In this particular example, we set up 1,000 miles as a run around the mountain, and you can do as many laps as you want. And there's even a progress bar at the bottom of the content section to show people how many laps as a community that the race has done. So that's a really neat component that I recommend every virtual race add to their website. And then we also have the price increase emails that go out. You can also drive some action with a price increase content section on your website. So this one we had set up that the price is about to go up to July 1st, and this is automatic, and it'll automatically flip over to the next price increase for you as well. So the one thing that isn't technically under the race tab, under the race page, is this email capture form. But because it appears nice and prominent on the cover page, I wanted to mention the email capture form. It's listed under the email marketing section, under email capture. And this is a great way to generate leads. It's basically you're capturing information from a participant that has come to your website, but they may not be ready to pay and sign up for your race. This is a way for them to kind of raise their hand and you to interact with them to convert them back to your race and tell them what's a good thing to sign up for your challenge or your race. So we've gone through and set up a bunch of content sections, and so we've turned our generic race website into this. Now we have this cover page here, and so this still is using the default colors. We haven't quite added a logo or anything, but you're starting to see that we've kind of transformed the generic stock RunSignup website into something that's more appealing and more customized to the race that we're setting up here. So let's get into some race theme options to kind of tie in our color scheme and the mantra of our race. And this is under the race tab, under race page and race theme. There's a couple different options here. We have two template options, which are the horizontal navigation, which you're going to see as the default of the cover page. And so when people are navigating the rest of your website, you can maintain that horizontal navigation is in place. And that's kind of what I would recommend, just so it's not as jarring as switching to the vertical navigation. However, we do have a vertical navigation option where all the information, the sign up and the login information is on the left-hand side shown here. The next option would be your race theme options for the color scheme and the design and layout options here. So we can set up the default layout or the alternate layout. This doesn't really particularly apply when you have a cover page on, but the alternate layout would detail the information above and below the picture of your banner to kind of give more prominence to the image that you've uploaded. There's also some generic social media feeds that you can plug in as well. And the homepage custom content section is basically for a tagline and a countdown clock. And again, not really prevalent for a cover page website because you can add the countdown clock and content sections there. But if you didn't do the cover page, this section would be good to like add some additional advanced options. So the color scheme section in the race theme is where you can literally put whatever your color schemes are. We do have some pre-matched template color scheme options, and you can also click in and edit their color scheme and actually put in your hex codes to set up the colors that are more geared towards your race. Once you set up a custom color scheme, if you're doing anything that's out of our default color scheme, you want to go through and review your race website and look at every single page that you have and every single content section, including the registration, just to make sure that the color schemes look good and are very legible. There have been some difficult color schemes that do lead to participant questions because they really can't see something on the page because the text just isn't as prominent with the color schemes. So always review your color choices. This is where you also upload the race logo. So this is where you want to show off your brand. And we recommend square logos. They fit the template the best. Just as a recommendation here is 400 by 400 pixels is this Vancouver Trail Run image. And you want to be careful with the customizations that you make to your logo. And the reason I say that is because there's lots of websites, Google, Facebook are notorious for caching images. So if I had like the 2020 Vancouver Trail Run here, and that's my logo that gets picked up and cached on the website, when I go to renew my race for next year and I share the link or people find it, that old information that's in my logo will persist until they basically recache the image. So by leaving the dates or the year out and making it just more of a generic logo, it does work better with caching, but there are some times where you need to put your sponsor in there and maybe stuff like that changes. And so just be aware that, there are websites that kind of cache that information. This is also where you can upload a race banner. The race banner in the theme options is different from the race header that we did in the cover page. So this would also be uploaded to the race website without having a cover page on. But the neat trick for this particular section is this would be your default email banner. So if you wanted to have a separate, slideshow for your cover page, but you wanted to have a separate banner image that appears at the top of your emails, this is a really neat way to do that and then have it persist in your email marketing template. And so again, we recommend that these start out by 2000 by 800 as far as the dimensions, and then you use the croppy tool to kind of zoom in and zoom out. But that's a neat option to still go to set up your race banner for the email purposes. The last section is one of our newer sections as well, is the custom wording. This is where you can actually customize your call to action buttons. So if you didn't like that the term was sign up or donate, you can update that to whatever you want. The main call to action button should be less than 15 characters. And we even have a subtitle option, which is really neat because it allows you to even just give that extra little customization, or you can even switch it into a different language to allow people to easily know that they can register or donate. So we've gone through the race theme options, and let's quickly take a look at the progress. We now see that our generic kind of blue and grayish looking website has now been turned into more natural theme colors to match the trail run series. And we've even uploaded the race logo on the upper left-hand side, and we have some call to action buttons here as well. So we've kind of built out the basic overall cover page and kind of themed it up. So the next thing to do would be to add some custom content, and the content is actually the backbone of your website. So it's very important to let participants know, more details and make those details readily available, since your website's working for you 24/7. So some of the custom sections that you can add, literally however many custom sections that you want. You definitely want to put things that are most topical towards the top of the page and in the menu. So we're gonna kind of recommend people create content about their referral program, let people know how to share, what they can do to earn either a free registration or swag that you're offering. Set up a section for frequently asked questions. We have help.runsignup.com, is a great resource. Any of the features that you turn on, there's runner guides that will walk participants through. And so you can really create your own FAQ, not only of the race and what's going to go on for the race, but you can also create those FAQs with how participants can take action based off of different features that you allow in the race. You also want to kind of highlight off, what's the good reason to do your race and kind of highlight the race. So we've added some custom course information here as a sample. In the advanced options, you can add your own RunSignup page URLs. So as it's constructing in the page, instead of just ending in like page-14, you can actually customize the name of those pages. And you might have seen some of that with our Go Virtual Hub or the challenge platform, where we're customizing and actually naming those pages so we can link them very easily. Each section can also, you can upload an image or an attachment. That would kind of get added to the bottom or the left or the right of the content, depending on what you want to do. But with that editor, you can embed images in there. So you can add more than one image by using the WYSIWYG editor and embedding the images. An attachment example for this would be something like an athlete guide that you would want to have people to download or something like that. In the embed options, this is some more advanced features that you can either add your YouTube video, you can add a RunSignup widget. We even have components for the race day photos, and we also now support playlists. So for a virtual race, if you have a playlist, you can upload it and people can go running and listen to your virtual playlist. It's a really neat feature to kind of show off the personality of your race as well. So if we add a bunch of content, we need to kind of display that on the page. So this is under the race tab under race page and custom content display. By default, all of the sections that we add are going to just add to the generic race info page. Good thing about that is it also appears on your confirmation email, but some of these items, especially with the cover page, or if you have a menu, you want to make them prominent menu items. So by customizing the content display, you can set up exactly where you want things to appear. So in this example that we're going to organize the flow of our menu is the course information is going to show up under race info. Same with race day parking. Anything about the race, we're going to kind of put under the race info tab. We also want to kind of highlight our video, but we have the video on the cover page and we don't necessarily want to put that anywhere on the website else other than the cover page. So we've set that section to display in the confirmation email only. Another cool feature about this is you can create a section with like a coupon to a sponsor. And that way, when somebody registers, that content appears right in the confirmation email. So that's a neat option. You can also set up your own menu tabs, such as the FAQ questions. This is an edit registration link that we're putting at the top. And then we've also customized the refund policy underneath the menu item. And that's an advanced option that I kind of want to highlight here on the next couple of slides. So we'll come back to that advanced refund policy here. So we'll just do a quick check of the default sections. Is when we're adding all of our content, we now have created this nice menu option here, but it kind of goes over the sides because we've uploaded multiple content sections and we've kind of expanded the sign up button and donate to register now and donate today. We now have this more tab, which kind of hides some of the content. And so we'll show you how to kind of clean that up a little bit as well. And that's all done in the menu order. And this is under the race tab under race page and menu order. So just like in the cover page section, you can click and drag the little grid beside your section to reorder the content. You can do that for the main tabs and even the indented tabs there. You can reorder how they appear from top to bottom when you're dealing with the menus. So there's also an option here to hide or show, in different options. So in draft mode, that means your race is offline, but you can still show tabs such as the results tab or things like that. We don't really recommend putting the race in draft mode once you've gone live because of the caching, and Google is constantly crawling websites. So by taking your race into draft mode, you kind of lose that. But if you need to, there are options to show specific sections if needed. And you can even hide call to action buttons on some of the sub navigation pages if it doesn't make sense. So now that we've gone through into hiding those menu options, you see now in the theme check on our race menu, we no longer have the More tab. We've kind of tightened everything up. We've actually hidden the menu items for the sign up and the donate because the call to action buttons are right there. And so we have this nice little clean menu here. So just kind of want to go back and reiterate the refund policy. Advanced trick here is a lot of our sections are dynamically created for you. So we get that refund policy is an automated section, but to kind of put that section wherever you want, you'll notice here in this slide that the refund policy is showing up under the race info. And that's the custom section that we created that is redirecting to the main RunSignup refund policy that you created. And the section at the very bottom, the refund policy here, this is our automatically generated refund policy content that we're just hiding. So all you're doing is kind of redoing the order here. I've seen a lot of races do this with their results. Maybe they have a lot of different events. You have a 5K, 10K, marathon, half marathon, and then teams for everything. And so you want to create your own results menu. You can do the same thing by creating custom sections for each type of event, hiding the results tab, and then redirecting your content sections to each of the results lists. So that's a kind of advanced feature there that's really neat to do. So now that we've kind of updated a cover page, the last section to kind of hit on is the domain. And this is where you can easily buy a domain. So in this case, we've purchased VancouverTrailRun.com, and we can go live with this race website by creating it on RunSignup and then pointing that domain to RunSignup. And this is not a redirect. This is actually pointing the domain so it lives at RunSignup and is in the address bar to fully brand your race. So the domain setup process is, again, it's a really easy 3-step process. Is you first need to know, purchase your domain. You can do it through Google Domains, GoDaddy, Namecheap. There's lots of different domain providers. You're then going to prove that you own that domain through customizing some text records. And then once that has gone through, we do an automatic SSL certificate that gets generated to you. And then the last part is the actually pointing of your A name and C name records to validate that certificate and point to RunSignup. So let's kind of walk through this process. So under the domains tab of the race page and domains, you'll just put in the domain name that you bought. If you have a subdomain, you just kind of type that in and then hit the dot. So if I wanted to have register.vancouvertrailrun.com on the in the section, I would just type in register dot and then Vancouver Trail Run, and it would automatically take that www into the subdomain. But you don't have to type in www. We do that for you. And then you have the .com, .org, or whatever your extension is. Once you plug that in and click Add Domain, it's going to start the process where we are in this step called Pending Ownership Validation. And we're going to generate these text records. And there's a little copy icon that's right here. And so it's really important that you click the copy icon instead of trying to type this in, because these record values are very long and are very easy to mistype because they're case sensitive. So you would basically log into your DNS settings and add these text records by just copying and pasting them in. Once you copy and paste them in, it generally takes about 20 to 30 minutes or so for the automated system to go through the process, see that you've added those text records. We then reach out and create an SSL certificate for you. And then you'll get back this last green confirmation, which is the RunSignup installation. So we've generated the SSL certificate, we've installed that for you, and now it's up to you to then point that domain to RunSignup. So in this example, the host record, this is a brand new domain. So the host is just the @ symbol here. If you already had a domain and had content, then you would have your IP address that's there, and you would need to change that to the new record value. Same with the C name. Again, we'll go through the automated process. Once we've verified that the A name record is updated, there's only one A record because you can only point to one place, and that the C name is in. Again, that's another about 20 to 30-minute process, and you're all complete and ready to go. And so VancouverTrailRun.com is actually now a live website. So there are some domain gotchas. Again, the main one is copied the wrong information. So we have these nice little click edit icons that you can put on there. The multiple A records is also another common theme. So in the example that there was the @ symbol, that's a brand new domain that was purchased. Those are fairly easy because you just change that to the new domain. But if you already had an existing website, you need to change that to the new one. You don't need to add more than one A record. When you do point an existing website to RunSignup, any links with content is going to break because we're not hosting the content. RunSignup's hosting the website, but you own the domain. So you can move that domain whenever you want. The content that's hosted at RunSignup will still be up and running. So, and that's another point is we don't actually own the domain. You actually own the domain. It's the hosting that you don't have. It does require a payment account to be set up. It's just one of the features that we require before we go through the installation process because the SSL certificate takes us to generate, and that you must log into these domains separately. And that's similar to RunSignup, TrySignup, BikeSignup, any of those domains, even GiveSignup. If you go and you're logged in at runsignup.com and then you type in vancouvertrailrun.com, even though it's using RunSignup, it's a different session, so it does require you to log in separately. And then when you're setting up these records, the text and the A records, never touch the MX record because we don't provide the email hosting. So stay away from that. So now here's our Vancouver Trail Run. This is just a screenshot of the cover page with the mobile optimized section. I'll kind of go ahead here and click over to Vancouver Trail Run, and you'll see I'm not logged in to this session because this is actually branded as vancouvertrailrun.com, and we can scroll through and we'll see all the content that we kind of created through the cover page sections. And when I go to leave the website and I go to click on the X, it's not going to do that because I'm on here. We'll flip over to RunSignup because I'm on the, there we go. So here's the pop-up that happens that will show up that I can easily type in my information, or I can click no thanks and it goes away. So just to recap, for every race website, you want to kind of get started with the cover page. That kind of tells the story and can really make your website pop. You want to kind of theme it and give your race some logical themes to your race as well. You also have the option to add your logo and different banner options and create content for your website. People are coming to you asking questions, kind of turn those questions into content that you can use for your website. And since your website's up 24/7, let the traffic, kind of be able to find that information for you. Also, putting content on your website helps to drive search engine optimizations. And even if you have your own race website, it's still important to add information or add basics to the RunSignup section, because often, since we rate so highly with search engines such as Google, we're often the first impression. So if you don't use RunSignup's websites, you should definitely still customize it and add content. People are sharing their referral rewards. That's linking right back to RunSignup. And that's also how you get all the analytics. So it's always good to kind of go through and update that information on the RunSignup page. So I just want to also give you some quick navigation tricks as you're moving back and forth with your website. The race menu search in the upper left-hand side, this is your friend. So type in anything you want. You can type in the word coupon and it'll pull up the pages that are showing coupons, where you can add them, coupon reports. You can type in things like cover and it'll pull up a cover page, and just kind of use that menu search to find yourself. And again, today's presentation is mainly in the race tab under race page, but there's other sections in there that can kind of tie in to your race website. You also have the dashboard header. If you have multiple races, there's a little drop-down arrow that you can easily, once you're creating a cover page for one website, if you have a generic kind of theme where you add a split content block and then you put your timer logo there and then you put sponsors and social media next, you can use that drop-down menu to easily go left to right across your race pages. There's also a status indicator, which you want to be green, but sometimes could be yellow or red depending on what's going on with the race. And you can click on that button to kind of see where those, it's like a little health meter for your race of what you can do. You also have a view website button, which is a very easy way to flip over to the front end. So as you're creating this content, you can see what it looks like. If you add upload images and things like that, the view website button will easily pop you over to the front end and kind of refresh the page as you're doing it. And then we have the signups button, which you can click and drag open to kind of expand the dashboard header to kind of give you a insight of this year versus last year comparisons. And we also have the participant search. So in the upper right-hand side, different than the race menu search, is the participant search, where you can type in names, bibs, emails, or what have you. So as you're working support for your race, you can easily type in that information and it'll pull their information up to kind of take them to the participant CRM record. And so that's a quick crash course on race websites and cover pages. So I'm excited to get to any questions that you have and kind of explain things further.